I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and I'm headed to Patagonia, Arizona. And I'm going to meet Heather Jackson and her husband, Wattie. Heather is a multi-champion in Ironman, and her husband, Wattie, is sort of her secret weapon in terms of cycling. And I'm here to get some tips on how to ride a bike, because I haven't ridden a bike since college. So any help I can get, that's going to be really good.
Hey, Heather! Wattie, what's up? How are you? Yeah, how you doing? What's up, man? How are you, man? Thanks for having me. And take it easy on me, please. Hey, I got a bike. You're gonna have to put it together and put the training wheels on it, because oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah,
so,
it'll be fun.
So I used to fish in up in Lee's Ferry with my dad a lot, so all the way in the northern part. But I've never been to this part, so yeah. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I brought some fly rods, but I don't know how much fly fishing there is in the desert, but I've got them. So if there's any fishing opportunities, we'll find out.
Cool.
Let's go.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know.
My wife, Michelle, will say, hey, how are you feeling? Are you overwhelmed with all this? I would be more overwhelmed if I didn't have people coaching me, because I wouldn't know how to train. Being a father of 2 boys, being a husband, you know, having to work a job, working in travel, and then putting training on top of that, if I were left to my own devices, I would be a complete wreck. I jumped into the 70.3 thing just with no expectations other than to train as hard as I can, to do all that I can to get across that finish line.
It's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
So after we parked, I get out of the van and I walked out onto this knoll, and I looked over this tremendous valley. Beautiful golden grass. It's a gigantic wetland. Arroyos running down all the way to the Mexican border, foothills. And I'm seeing deer tracks and javelina tracks. And I mean, it is, spectacular. And not a person around. I felt like just everything sort of just lifted off my shoulders.
Gravel riding for me has made my Ironman and triathlon training that much more exciting and different, even in the last 2-3 years, because as a triathlete, a lot of your training is, okay, head down in the time trial position, hit these numbers, hit these efforts, versus just getting out into nature. You're on your gravel bike. If you just have a general ride, it gives you that like mental reset, that mental freshness to hit the hard days harder, because you've just had the most enjoyable day out in the woods in beautiful places like Patagonia, Arizona.
It was fun to experience that with Conway, because we were riding along and we were having fun like kids, like we always do. And Conway was like, this is amazing. It's beautiful. It's like gorgeous. Like, it's a great tool.
I feel like there's kind of 2 things. There's the fueling before training, after training, like the real food you're eating, and then there's also obviously like training nutrition and race nutrition, the gels, sugars, electrolytes you need. But just keeping your body like strong, fueled, and like good amount of calories that you feel energized and wanting to train, versus this like, I feel like stigma that's maybe in endurance sports of, okay, leaner is better. I think in triathlon, it's stronger is better. You have 3 sports. You have to be fueled for them, and you have to be strong across 3. So,
do you know when I need to consume more calories or when I need to back off, or is that where your coach comes in to help? Or
yeah, definitely where my coach comes in to help right now in terms of what you can digest and your body can use per hour. Right. You can calculate, okay, that means I need this many gels per hour to keep myself at this equilibrium and fueled. Okay, maybe 1 gel works for you, but that might not work for me.
I got it.
So that's kind of the what you can trial in your training.
So your first Ironman,
Oh man,
I mean, what was that like?
It was exactly all the things I just said I didn't do. So it was bad.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So with 70.3, obviously it's not that as big of an effort, but still paying attention to those things will help me successfully get across that finish line.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
But Wattie, you were telling me you did your first Ironman. I want to know how that was.
Wattie did not do this.
What? People were like, what are you going to do for nutrition? Well, what did? I did what I would normally do. I made myself a hoagie, a sandwich, right? Like 2 hoagies. Like, and so like when I'm on the bike, she's like, well, you need to eat. And so like, I'm like, how often? She's like, oh, immediately you got to start eating. So I just specifically remember I'm coming down, I'm like 2 miles into the race, and I pull out this hoagie out of my back pocket, and I'm peeling it off, and I'm eating. This guy's riding next to me. He's like, is that a hoagie? I was like, yeah, you want a bite?
3 tips I can give, I think more specific for him going into a race. Show up to the swim start with 2, 3, 4 different pairs of goggles for the day, because when you can't see out there, and especially someone that's not a strong swimmer, like you're like, oh my God, I'm not even gonna be able to see. I already can't swim the best, let alone see where I'm going. Lots of lubricant for the entire day. So spray your whole body, because it's not just in the swim, bike, and run. That will prevent any chafing or uncomfortableness. As important as nailing your swimming, biking, and running, it's not going to come together unless you follow that nutrition plan you can implement in training leading up. So that will definitely help make it a more enjoyable day to be fueled.
So getting back on the bike is opening up something for me. And riding on the gravel with Heather and Wattie, really, I felt that freedom that I used to feel on a bicycle. And it was awesome. So, you know, hopefully at the end of all this, and I love riding. It's such a beautiful sport. I hope that I'll be inspired enough to get back on that bike and start riding again. So. The light switch got turned on about halfway. It was really cool, so we'll see.
Hey, my job's done here. I got a better part of the deal though, you know that, right? I mean, so thank you so much for everything that you've taught me, all the information about diet, just hanging out with you too. I mean, that's a confidence builder for me.
Yeah, we're gonna be there at the finish line when he does his first Oceanside 70.3.
The pressure keeps building every day. Well, with your help, I think that I've got a good chance. You know.
Conway Bowman, I'm competing in a 70.3 Ironman in Oceanside, and I'm not an endurance athlete. The last part of that race is going to kick my butt, so I need all the help I can get.